Welcome to every video we make. We use one little thing and then we build the narrative out of it.
Other people besides white dudes like Star Wars. I'm just saying, we need to be conscious of our bias.
We talk about this one thing and we make a whole video out of it. That's what we do.
I have been a fan of yours for a long, long time. Following you, I kind of thought you were the expert in all conspiracies, and it was, if anything, it was entertaining. I always found it entertaining.
Exactly. It's not so entertaining now that it all came true.
No. No.
Dang it.
Yeah,
It was supposed to be fiction.
Story time. I encountered a channel the other day, and they have some documentaries, quote documentaries. They also have some smaller videos that are like 10, 12 minutes or whatever. And it's called Nerd Wars, all caps, one word. And I was like, well, that's interesting because that's kind of stylized exactly the way that like InfoWars is done. You know,
One thing
like,
I want to say is that this is only an 18K channel. This is not a channel I normally want to talk about, but there's greater context. There's
and also these, so when you look at the views, the accounts that they get, so like on the regular videos, the more 10, 12-minute videos, they're not getting shit. They're like not doing any better than like some of our videos, right? But then they put out like once a month, there's this
documentaries.
It's like they're an hour to 3 hours long sometimes, and it's all about, you know, the nerds fighting wokeness and stuff. And what it really is not a documentary. It's just a bunch of clips from all the, you know, the Chud channels, the ones that you'd expect, the ones we often talk about. And it's just compiled into you know, several hours of propaganda about Marxism and, you know, wokeness, and all the nerds have had it and all this stuff. And it's like, those are getting hundreds of thousands of views. And I wouldn't have, you know, I wouldn't have even really thought long about it, except for I noticed one of the thumbnails of one of them, their most recent one, I think, it's just like a very specific thumbnail, and it stuck out to me. And I was like, why do I know that image? The Nerd War on Woke, a Nerd Wars documentary. And I'm like, wow, that's the style of it and everything. You know, it's something about it. And I couldn't think of what it was. And then finally, I did think of what it is. And it just dawned on me that there was a tweet from, let's see, August 2022 by Chrissy Mayer.
someone who is famously not racist.
Not racist.
Didn't they, the NFL said that they would play the Black national anthem before the regular national anthem? And I was like, what even is the Black national anthem? Is it just sirens? What?
Is Black?
Chrissy, have you ever heard of the comedian Basha K. Ali?
No, that sounds like something you yell at before you blow up a plane.
But she has hosted the InfoWars channel before. So whenever I thought of it, I was like, oh my God, because she says, my friends are in an InfoWars documentary about nerds fighting the woke culture takeover. And she tags all the chuds, right? And then there's a link there. I remember going to that link back then, and I didn't watch it or anything, but I was like, oh God, okay, whatever. And I made note, I guess, it's tucked it away in my fucking brain hole somewhere, because it remembered, you know, that like, oh, they're doing something for, like, they must have recorded, you know, in my mind, I was thinking how like me and Bob and Turf recorded interviews for that Brad Fay for his documentary thing. That was what I was thinking generally happened here, right? That like InfoWars had reached out to these chuds and said, hey, you want to fucking do you want to eat some ass and do some interviews for, you know, whatever.
I'll eat your ass. I will.
But no, it seems like something more substantial has happened.
Mm-hmm. We did some digging last night.
We did a little bit of work. All
right. So in the link that she posted to that video, that's a dead link now.
Yeah.
Don't go nowhere. But the internet never forgets. And so we popped it in the old Internet Archive, and it took us to this channel here on the InfoWar TV. And it links to Erwin, who doesn't have a last name available, but he has 2 YouTube channels. And he is as far as we can tell, from what you found the other day, was a employee of InfoWar in some capacity. Is that correct, Dane?
Yeah, so I've got a video that we could look at if we wanted to, just to kind of get an idea. But like, Erwin is not a chud that you've seen before, probably, because I haven't, and I feel like if I had, then somebody else would have. But he's seems exclusive to this channel, and yet he has access to all of these clips from all of these guys, which to me, I don't think that these guys would not allow a channel, just some random channel, to use so much of their content and then get ad revenue off of it, unless they explicitly endorsed and even worked hand in hand with him to make it happen. So like, I mean, look, I'm not going to fucking bury the lead any further. The Fandom Menace chuds are working with InfoWars.
Well, and so I want to show some logos here. Here's the InfoWars logo, and here's the Nerd Wars logo that has the weird formatting. It's not quite the same, but there's enough of a similarity. And here is Erwin's other channels. And you mentioned Alex Jones working with the Fandom Menace group that gets together on that stream.
Yeah.
What were the dates they were on?
I'd have to look them up, but it was basically like one was August or September 2021, and then the next one was on their 200th episode in like June of 2022, and right after that was whenever this channel popped up.
Here's this channel, the 19th of 2022, and their second channel the day before, this Nerd Wars channel.
So, and then they don't advertise this, and I wonder why, because especially nowadays, Alex Jones maybe has a little bit of stink on his fucking reputation, and they're trying to,
and he owes a lot of money,
and they're trying to pull in people who are not suspecting, right? Like unsuspecting, probably young people, preferably for them. But like now that Alex Jones is kind of universally known as just one of the biggest scumbags in fucking modern history, because he for years pushed a conspiracy theory that children that had been murdered were not actually murdered, and that they was all a fucking it's all false flag designed to get our guns or whatever, because he's a piece of shit.
He does know something about false flags, because here we are, he pulls this from his channel, right? It goes away into the void, but then would you look at that? There it is, right here on the middle row. Boy, those look really familiar.
Like we talked about for a minute, like maybe we shouldn't talk about them because like maybe that would just get him promotion or whatever. But then it was like, but they seem to be to some degree trying not to let it be known that they're connected to InfoWars. So that probably means we should talk about it, right? Because if they don't want it, that's fucking it's good for bad.
They
for them.
obviously have
InfoWars sunglasses on, I believe.
Yeah. And he so in that video, he's wearing it in several videos. Okay.
Yeah, he wears it in several videos.
I don't think it has to sound like conspiratorial either. Like we see Alex Jones like meet up with him, and it's like they all share the same thing. So it's a very simple like, Alex, oh yeah, I'll help you guys out. I'll give you guys this. I'll give you that. It's like it makes sense. It's not like it's like this shady underground thing.
Right. Yeah. It's you scratch my back, I scratch yours.
Yeah.
It's a tale as old as time.
Makes sense.
Yeah. It just is the thing that it looks like,
I mean, let's face it, this guy apparently gave a positive review to an Alex Jones video game, which means you have to be shilling for Alex Jones at that point.
I will eat your ass.
These other chuds, even as far as I know, none of the other ones fucking covered the Alex Jones video game.
I will eat your ass first.
I know you got to get running, so we don't want to keep you long, but you're welcome back. I mean, Gary's been. It took balls for Gary to have this on his channel. It did, and I'm gonna say this before you leave, because I'll probably never get a chance to say this again at this moment. I'll text you later, Alex. I just had to say that.
You guys don't need to clout chase. This ain't clout. This is fame. Yeah. You guys are kicking ass. Listen, please come on my show. Come to Texas if you want. And I do want to get you guys on the next week or two. We can come on and do like 2-hour roundtable talk if you guys
have a good one.
Take care, brother. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Alex. Oh, yeah.
Crazy, dude.
Wonderful to have you.
Oh, my God.
Wonderful to have you.
Crazy.
Look at that. Walks off like a total Chad.
Walks off like a fucking Chad.
Total Chad, right? I'm out.
He didn't turn his back like Joe Biden. He walked off the stage like a goddamn
Ladies
man
and gentlemen,
right now.
Alex Jones has left the building. Alex Jones has left the building.